Hey everyone, this is Dylan, and today I'll be doing the next episode in the Chucky television series. This episode was entitled, I Like to Be Hugged. So, the big event that happens in this episode is that Jake's teacher saw a video of Lexy at the Halloween party in the costume that is supposed to represent Jake's dad. And the teacher is like, we need to get the parents involved. So she says that she has contacted Jake's aunt and uncle to come and has contacted Lexy's parents to have a discussion about the children and what was all going on. I originally thought that that also included Jake and Lexy, but it did not. It was just the parents. Junior has urged Lexy to apologize to Jake for what went down at the Halloween party, but she's very against it until she finds out that her sister really wants Chucky. So she goes to Jake's house and is like, I want to apologize to you, but also, do you have Chucky? Will you give me Chucky? And Jake, of course, knowing who Chucky is and what Chucky is like, no, you're never gonna get Chucky. But then Chucky is like, maybe it's a good idea if you give me to Lexy, so then I can help you out. Then Jake kind of just goes off after he gives Chucky to Lexy. He's on his own. He goes to the graveyard that his parents are buried at, and all while this is happening, Lexy is also having a party at her house with a lot of the kids from the school, and it's a headphone dance party, which is an interesting thing, but I don't really know how practical that would be at like an actual party in like a house. So we have that, and that's where I'm going to leave the synopsis. So in all my reviews of the Chucky TV series, I always like to comment on any references to the movies that we may have got. I did not really detect any references to the movies in this episode, but I'm also not super familiar with the entire franchise, so there may have been some things that I might have missed. And this is actually the episode that has the most deaths that we've seen so far. So in this episode we have the death of one of Jake's classmates. We also have the death of both Charles Lee Ray's parents, which were very interesting because this episode we probably have had the most backstory for childhood Charles Lee Ray. So that is actually a pretty interesting thing, and I think that a lot of fans of the Chucky franchise will really like that. So let's talk about Jake in this episode. Jake is starting to go down a little bit of the path that I did not want him to go down from last week, where he's contemplating killing Lexy, and we see him actually go through the motions of like stalking Lexy, and then it turns out to be Junior. When Lexy comes to apologize and ask about receiving Chucky, he's like looking for weapons in the garage to kill her with. I really don't want to see Jake kill anyone, and I really like him, and I just hope that if he does do this, that I really won't have a bit of a change of heart about how much I like Jake, because I like Jake quite a bit, and I really hope that he stays pure, I guess. I don't want to see him kill anyone. And let's talk about Lexy. So Lexy definitely has ulterior motives with a lot of the things that she does, and it's quite interesting that I've noticed in a couple episodes, but it hasn't really hit the surface as much as this episode, where we're starting to get more sides to Lexy than just the bully that she is to Jake. We see how nice she is to her sister and how much she cares about her little sister, and I think that that's a very interesting thing, and it makes Lexy a more dynamic character than just being a bully. And I think that'll be interesting to see if maybe she goes on a little bit of a redemption arc and she ends up not dying, because I thought for sure she was going to be killed in the series, but now I'm starting to think that maybe she won't, and maybe she will have this like redemption, and that would be really interesting to see if that actually does happen. And then we have Junior, and Junior has really been kind of sidelined. He's like probably the least developed of all of the child characters, and I think that he's like a really silent guy, but I do have questions about him and why he is still with Lexy if he doesn't really like the things that Lexy does. I feel like potentially it may be his like first real girlfriend and he doesn't want to ruin that or anything like that, but I still wonder like why he's still with her. And then let's talk about Devon. Devon is really an interesting character and we don't really see a ton of him, so I don't have a super good feel on him, but he does have potentially feelings for Jake. There's even a line where he's like, I just kind of want to protect you. And I think that that's also quite interesting, and Jake kind of is like, oh, and he like touches his shoulder and Jake is like, oh, what is going on right now? We didn't see Devon or Junior in the preview for next week, and we're left on a bit of a cliffhanger of what happens to them. We do see Lexy, so I think that if Lexy survives what happened, then they should survive, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. I really hope we don't get like off-screen deaths for them. I think that'll be not as well received. I do also want to mention that if you watch this on the Sci-Fi channel, that after the episode is over, we do get a like behind the scenes and inside look at the episode, and I really do like that because we do get a little bit more perspective on certain things. And one of the things that Devon mentioned in that thing, or the actor who plays Devon, is that Devon is still wants to have a story, the story of Jake, for his podcast, and that's also very interesting because it wasn't brought up, so I didn't really think anything of it until he mentioned it, and I was like, oh, interesting, maybe that's why he's being so nice to Jake, and maybe he doesn't really necessarily have feelings for Jake, but he wants to get close to Jake because of this podcast that he's doing. So there is a lot of stuff that you can get from this inside look, and deeper understanding of the characters and how the actors who play the characters feel that their characters are progressing in the story. And that is it for this episode. I really did enjoy this one. I have really been enjoying the series so far, and I can't wait until we start getting more of the references to the movies and what is going to happen when those characters come in, because it's kind of a real isolated story right now, and it'll be interesting to see how Tiffany and characters like that fit in with the story and these characters. But that is it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode of Chucky, whether you liked it or you didn't like it, and why. And remember, if you're not already subscribed and you'd like to be, please hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a like if you liked it. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day. Bye.